to my channel. So Gino's ex, Lindsay Ryder, has recently came out and spoke out after she's been getting a lot of backlash recently because people have been blaming her for the reason why Jasmine lost her job. Jasmine even came out on social media over a year ago and blamed Lindsay for this, and Lindsay came out and defended herself last year, but now she's getting backlash once again. So she took to the 90 Day Fiance Reddit and she said, for the 10,000th time, I did not send Jasmine's pics to her work or to anybody ever. She was not fired because of me. I reached out to let her know what Gino had done. He did this with several other sex workers, aka sugar babies, that he was paying to date. He would send me their photos and go on and on about them to me. I usually, when I reply and I just go on with my life, and if I had those girls' contact info, then I would have done the same thing that I did with Jasmine. But unfortunately, Jasmine was the only one that I had contact info for through social media. And I thought people knew the whole backstory was garbage, but seeing what's being written in the comments, I see a lot of people are buying into their lies. I have no clue where she worked in Panama, and if supposedly posted the photos all over the internet, then where are they? I reached out to let her know that he sent me those, was texting and messaging me constantly, and that he's a total creep and she should be aware of some pretty serious things. She got mad, she insulted me a bunch, and came out with this lie about me getting her fired from her job after saying on the show originally that she lost her job due to COVID. Everything I'm saying, I have screenshot proof of. I'm also not his ex, I'm a sex worker. Gino is garbage. So correction, that is not Gino's ex, it's Gino's ex sugar baby. So I've spoke with her actually about a year ago, and she did show me a lot of receipts and said that she did not send no pictures to where Jasmine worked. Then also about a year ago, someone came out on Reddit and they had to say some things about Jasmine's job. They said, so I live in Panama. I know people at the school where Jasmine worked. Here are a few things you guys seem to be interested to know about. She did not teach at a university. It was a K through 12 private school. And no, they do not get paid $3,000 a month at that school, because she was saying she made $3,000 a month. So they're saying that she was lying about how much she made. She was a good teacher. The coworkers agreed about this, and she taught English. And they said she was not fired. She quit to move to the U.S. with her boyfriend from the U.S., Gino, at the end of 2020. Schools in Panama follow a Southern Hemisphere schedule, so the school year ends in December. She was known at the school for dressing provocatively and had been sent home from work over this a few times. Some parents complained that she posted public pictures on the internet that were too revealing. Still, the school didn't fire her for this because they thought she was a good teacher. And beyond telling her to stop this, they just accepted. Then they go on to talk about how they feel like Jasmine didn't abandon her kids, like when she sent them off to their dad during COVID. And they say, my guess is that they originally planned to film during December 2020, so Jasmine quit her job and she couldn't explain the show to her job at the time because of her NDA. So now let's talk about Gino and Jasmine in this last episode. Some of you guys may not like what I got to say, but I got some opinions about all this because I was watching this and I was like, are we really doing all this? Are we really doing all this over a goddamn potato peeler? But anyway, so Gino finally made it to Panama to see Jasmine. Jasmine is just doing too much, in my opinion. Like, every other sentence, it's her talking about some kind of sex. You know, it's TMI every other sentence, it seems like. And she's really laying it on thick with all the sex talk. And it just seems like a non-stop promo for her OF now this season. I do not remember Jasmine being anywhere near this bad last season. And it just seems like Jasmine is trying to use her sexuality and turning it up to the max to try to distract Gino in every way possible. We can tell that Gino this season, he is stressed and depressed because you can tell he is walking on eggshells. He has all these hard conversations he needs to have with Jasmine, like talk about the prenup, talk about when Jasmine gets to America, but he's scared of having these conversations because anytime he sits down to talk to Jasmine, she blows up. She goes 0 to 100 real quick. So he just avoids these conversations, and now he's getting all stressed and depressed because he knows that he needs to talk to Jasmine about these things, and he keeps admitting that he's tired of also being controlled by Jasmine. So Gino shows up and he's just not acting like himself at all. And Jasmine, the first thing she wants to do is take this man to the bed. She wants to give him a massage. She had him get up on the bed with his dirty shoes and socks and all up on the bed. and she wants this man to pretty much take her to Pound Town. So Gino just was not feeling it. He was not ready. I think he was still a little bit jet lagged. And like I said, this man is stressed out. And he said that he just wanted to relax. So Jasmine was like, okay, baby, I got you. I'm going to cook you a nice little vegan meal. So Jasmine goes to the kitchen, and all of a sudden, she said she was going to cook for Gino. But then she's like, Gino, I need your help. I need you to help peel the vegetables. Which you could tell, Gino was not feeling it. Like, he reluctantly dragged himself in the kitchen, and he already seemed annoyed because he didn't want to do it, but he reluctantly agreed to peel the potatoes. So he was sitting there, and he's like, okay, so where's your potato peeler? And Jasmine couldn't find one. He's like, okay, I'm paying $3,000 for a luxury apartment and sending you all this money every month, and you don't even got a freaking potato peeler. You don't even have the right tools. And Jasmine was like, you know, they came with some tools, but they didn't come with everything, you know, so, but I make it work. I'm still able to peel the potatoes. So she pulls out a butcher knife, and she starts showing him, like, look, it's easy. Just peel them with a knife. And Gino said he isn't going to do it without the proper equipment. And I don't blame him, because watching her do it, it seemed like I was worried she was going to cut herself any second. And he sat there and he seemed annoyed because he thought he was going to be able to just kick it, relax. Jasmine was going to cook a meal for him. But now he's sitting here and having to peel and chop all the vegetables and do all the tedious jobs that come along with cooking that meal. And Gino reminds me, like, what some people do sometimes, like, when they don't even want to do something, they'll just play dumb. Like, I don't know how to do it, but low-key you do know how to do it. You're just saying that because you don't want to do it. We already know this man don't know how to cook because we saw him on his first season, one of his first few episodes. This man's freezer was full of, like, Salisbury steak banquet meals, and that's his Friday night dinner. So he was super irritated, and he also said he's tired of being controlled by Jasmine, and he's turned off because he feels like everything he tells Jasmine just goes in one ear and out the other, and he feels turned off by the way Jasmine's spending money as well. Like I said earlier, I think, like, she's trying to use her sexuality to distract Gino and trying to just lay it on thick to keep him, you know, focused on that, hoping that he won't bring up, you know, the hard conversations talking about, like, the prenup and talking about her spending habits. She's trying to keep him distracted at all costs and thinking that if she just, you know, makes him happy in the sheets, then he'll be happy, not bring anything else up. But Gino's not a sucker like that, and I think he's starting to see the red flags and wake up, and he's starting to see Jasmine's true colors, but he's so invested, he's spent so much money that he doesn't want to just walk away so easily after all the time and money he's invested. And I don't even know how Gino can afford all this because, like, he's paying for his place in Michigan. And another thing is, I cannot wait to see when Jasmine moves from that $3,000 luxury apartment to Gino's place in Michigan, because we saw the pictures in this last episode. So he's paying for his place. He's sending her $3,000 a month just for rent at this luxury place. Then he's sending her money, like spending money and buying everything else for her, and sending her money to get all this work done. Like, she's had her breasts done, she got surgery on her face, she's getting microblading on her eyebrows, she's getting lip fillers, she's getting lip stain, she's getting all sorts of stuff done on Gino's dime. Shoot, I'd be stressed too if I was Gino. So I think it's not just about him getting mad about the potato peeler. I think it's misdirected anger. I think he's really upset about the whole him paying $3,000 a month for the apartment. And after all the time she's emasculated him, because, like, last season we saw her talk about how his package is small and depressing, and now she's acting like it's the best thing since sliced bread, and that's all she thinks about all day. So I don't know. I think Gino has so many things building up because he's been walking on eggshells for so long, and he's just afraid to communicate with Jasmine. Like, I heard they're supposed to be starting this 90 Day Fiancé therapy show, and I know, like, Big Ed and Liz and, like, Molly and her ex or whatever, and a few other couples like Angela and Michael are all supposed to be on it. They need to bring Jasmine and Gino on something like that so they can learn to communicate, because they are going to continuously have issues as long as they cannot figure out how to communicate. And I just feel like it's a big red flag, the fact that Jasmine doesn't care whatsoever how Gino is so stressed out about his finances. And instead of, like, slowing down to help him be less stressed, she puts the pedal to the metal and ups her spending. And that's the thing, like, Gino was like, I kind of feel a little deceived, because when I first got with Jasmine, she was low maintenance, she didn't really require much, and now all of a sudden she's all about luxury things, and she just wants more and more and more, and never can have enough, and it's just going from one level to the next. And Gino is just physically and financially exhausted. And I think Jasmine, if she does come to the U.S., I don't think Gino will never be able to support the lifestyle that she's going to want in the United States. So Jasmine ends up sitting down Gino, and she apologized to him for making him uncomfortable. She could tell that the vibes were off, and she felt bad about the situation. At least that's what she told Gino, and she was crying and everything. And in the next episode, we're going to see Gino finally bring the whole prenup up, and it does not look pretty at all. It looks like she starts freaking out, and just from what she's been saying to her friends and talking about on the show, she feels like if she's going to come to the U.S., the only way she's going to do that is she marries Gino without a prenup, because she feels like if Gino was to die, then she feels like she would be able to, she wants to make sure that she's not just going to be screwed if he passes away tomorrow and she's in the U.S. and she's fully dependent on him. Which I don't think it will be a situation like that. Jasmine's in a way better position than a lot of these people on this show, because she has good money she makes from Cameo. She makes good money from OF. She was just bragging on IG about the good money she makes on OF earlier today. And she also has Gino taking care of her every need. But even without Gino, if something was to happen, as long as he has a will or life insurance and policy, then she should be set and shouldn't have to worry about a prenup. But it definitely seems like there's something more that she wants to why she doesn't want a prenup. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching.